What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Thanks for joining the channel. Today we're going to be replacing our brake lines on the CBR, but we're going to be putting in some stainless steel lines. We're replacing the master cylinder on the stock CBR with a Brembo RCS 19. In addition to the stainless steel brake lines and the Brembo RCS master cylinder, we're also going to be putting in some WRP brake pads. This bike is going to change completely in terms of braking. From past experiences at the track, as I was getting faster and faster during more laps, I noticed that my brakes were getting very squishy, to the point where I actually ran out of brake and unfortunately went into the grass. Didn't fall, however I did go into the grass. I got pulled over by one of the instructors, and that's when they told me, look, if you want to ride at this speed, at this pace, you really need to start upgrading parts on your bike, just because Honda, the way these things come stock, they just don't do well, don't provide for that pace. So let's get to it. I'm excited. So the RCS 19 Brembo comes in awesome, beautiful packaging, very protected, very nice and squishy, and it comes with obviously the RCS 19 master cylinder, and it looks like some instructions and some tools. It does come with the banjo bolt right over here. However, I did upgrade my banjo bolt to a race bolt. It was recommended by the guys over at Moto D, and they said that this, things like this, little things that you upgrade and incorporate, you do feel a difference. Personally, because I've never really had this much of brake upgrades before, it's going to be just a huge difference for me in general. So I'm not really sure if I would notice a difference from this bolt to the bolt that the Brembo comes with. However, either way, I'm excited to try this out. Because we're replacing the stock master cylinder, the brake master cylinder, you do have to get the Brembo reservoir. First things first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen up our bolts here and basically move this out of the way, pour everything out as best as I can, and then from there I'll start working and removing the stock lines. So I'm using a 10mm here, and I'm going to be removing this top bolt. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get a Phillips screwdriver and remove the cap screw protector. That way I can tilt this down and remove all of our brake fluid. We now removed the cap holder. Now I'm just going to grab a red solo cup. I'm going to unscrew it. That was a bad idea. Now that we removed the brake fluid from the top, I'm going to be using a 8mm right over here. And we're going to just be removing this bolt down here that connects all of the brake lines together. So I do want to mention the 8mm that we removed right up top over here that connects all three. There is one on the other side, which in that case it's a 10mm, one single, and just remove it to just completely free up all your brake lines. From here on out, guys, we've got a 12mm we're gonna go ahead and place that there to remove our stainless steel lines. So now that we got that loose, I'm just gonna go ahead and drain the lines from here. Alright. Go ahead and wipe it down just to try to make this a little bit neater than it actually is. We have our little cup in handy here set up. We're gonna grab our 12 millimeter once again, and we're just gonna remove the left side banjo bolt. I imagine not too much because most of it has already been drained, probably from the other side. There we go, yeah. Just a few drips, nothing crazy here. Else to keep in mind, the other fastener, there are 3 total fasteners here that hold all the brake lines together. The one on the right side, as we showed you, then we got right over here on this side, as mentioned earlier. There is one more bolt that we have to loosen up to get these lines off. It's right inside, right over there. This bolt next to the line, that one right there where I'm putting the 8 millimeter on. So just using a little wrench and gonna get that loosened up. Once we loosen up, we are gonna be able to pull all of the lines out. Of course, with removing it from the master cylinder as well. Once we remove this one up top, we should be able to pull the whole system out. I am as well expecting some brake fluid to come out of here as well, so I'm going to make sure and cover that up so we don't make a complete and total mess. It is a 12 millimeter to remove the banjo bolt up top by the reservoir. And just like that, guys, here we have the stock lines. So next step I'm going to be doing is removing the master cylinder. Looks like we have 2 bolts right here, 2 8 millimeters. We're going to remove that. That should loosen up, and from there on out I should essentially just pull out the master cylinder. So definitely looks like we loosened that up. As you can see, the whole thing's wiggling and coming off. There we go, guys. Here is the piece that I just showed with 8 millimeter bolts coming out. Just like that, guys, we took the stock brake master cylinder. As mentioned earlier, we are also replacing our pads with some WRP pads onto the bike. And should be pretty easy now at this point. There's no brake fluid compressing the brakes at all anymore, nor do we even have a master cylinder up top. So it should be 2 bolts on each side. We're gonna grab a 14 millimeter. Just gonna put that on there, and we're just gonna loosen these suckers up. Yeah, so we got our pads over here. I'm not gonna be reusing these, so in this case, I'm just gonna press down like so. Push the pistons in because we're going to be putting new ones in there. And ooh, yeah, that squirted right out. There we go. There's the first one. Taking some wiggling, and we got the second one. All right guys, so unfortunately I believe that I got sent the wrong pads for the bike, but not a big deal. I'm gonna get that figured out and hopefully get some new ones. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the stock ones back in and put the piston back on the bike here, and from here we're gonna continue and installing brake lines and then finish off with putting on the RCS 19 Corsa Corta. Is it Corsa Corta? What is it? Yeah, the RCS Corsa Corta. We'll put that back on last after we put all the lines on. So now we have our Cormoto stainless steel lines for the CBR. It's pretty neat. They did label right caliper, left caliper, and how it's supposed to be. This one right here is going to be the top for the banjo bolt, and these are going to run down to the bottom lines. Left and right, we're going to run it through. We've got our right caliper steel lines. It's going to bolt up just like so, and here we've got our banjo bolt. So we're gonna do banjo bolt, washer, banjo bolt on the other side, and then you do the exact same thing for the other side. It does come with a brake light switch. However, my bike is going to be strictly for the track, so I don't need that plug, but it's super nice that they do provide you with this. So to remove it, you just grab a flathead and slowly just pry it out. And I'll grab the camera and show you guys exactly how it looks like once we take these two little bolts out right over here. Basically just as we took out the other one. In comparison to those that are curious, this was the stock one and this is the RCS. So same concept, you just take those two bolts out and then put them back on. And of course you can change your angle. I personally like it pretty low. And I think this is probably going to do it right there. I'll just make this nice and snug. Don't go too crazy on it. So this is these are the two bolts that we were tightening up, and this is what it looks like. Now that the cylinder is installed, we have to put together our Brembo reservoir. Okay, so I didn't really realize that in order to put on the brake reservoir, it attaches to, as the instructions say, basically one of those little bolts that holds it on to the handlebars. So I went ahead and loosened it up, and now I'm gonna stick it through. We're gonna go ahead and put a washer, put it through, and then we're gonna put another washer in the end with the provided. We have now the attached reservoir right over here, connected with the provided tools and provided hardware. And of course, you want to make sure that you have proper clearance when it comes to turning. You want to make sure that it's not hitting right up top. I have it set to the top one, however, I may have to change it and go to the bottom. But for now, I'm going to keep it on top, and I will check and make sure that the clearance is all good for it. We now have our premium bolt double banjo that we're going to be using for the stainless steel lines. It's going to be the order that's going to be is going to be bolt, obviously. If I can get the other one on, it's going to be bolt, washer, bolt, washer, banjo bolt, washer, banjo bolt, washer, then in. Then after that, we put the banjo bolt, another washer, just like so. And I'm gonna bring this up and close, that way you guys can see it, just like that, guys. So we have the master cylinder connected here with our 2 bolts. We have the reservoir right up top, and we have the banjo bolts also connected to our reservoir. Of course, our lines, we just gotta tighten that up, and the other side as well, right over here. I'm not really going to talk too much about bleeding the system, as there are many videos talking about how to bleed the system, but I would say the install was pretty simple. I do wish that we had the correct pads to install, but at the moment I'm only really going to be doing 1 track day this upcoming weekend, given that the weather is good. So I think getting it back in it for the first time, I'll be okay with these pads. We're gonna figure out the issue, what happened, and grab some WRP pads, then swap those on, which that's a very simple setup, very simple to do. Thank you guys for checking out this video of the Brembo RCS 19 Corsa Corta install, along with our stainless steel lines. Subscribe for more, comment what you think, anything that I could have done a little bit better. Again, this is my first time really messing with bikes, and I'm just really learning as I go, and having fun documenting all this stuff. I'm gonna have a lot of fun stuff, as mentioned before, coming for this bike and making it a dedicated CBR600RR track bike. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.